I don't know who needs to hear this, but claiming that the original Native Americans were black is indigenous erasure and not productive.
So I wanted to start with that. Nobody's claiming that you guys are black. What we're simply claiming is you guys are not the original inhabitants. Like, for instance, you guys are mainly talked about, yet the first Indians to ever meet the Pilgrims were black. And when you truly look into history, you find out that the first tribes that had ever met the Europeans here in America all got enslaved in this land. It's not until the end that you start hearing about the so-called Mongolian Native Americans. By exposing what Indians were truly native to this land, just shows black people are the original Indians. And it's written in the hieroglyphs of the Mayans. But no, we're not stating they were black. We're stating they were the first invaders.
Cube, why are you putting Native Americans in here? Why isn't this just for black people?
Well, black people are Native Americans. You know, we've had, a lot of proof that, some of us started here in this land. Everybody wasn't brought over from Africa. So, we have to, like you say, unpack all of that and try to, find the true lineage of people in this country.
So your tribe?
Cherokee.
Okay.
North Carolina.
Now, what you were saying about the African thing?
Okay. Now, just say when I was growing up in the South, North Carolina, I never heard anything about African and black. I always heard about Indians.
So when did African come to play?
Well, I'll say lately, not very,
60s,
very,
70s?
yeah, 60s,
What
70s.
roots, around roots time?
Right.
So you think it was like a mind control thing that they put into us?
Yes.
Really?
That's what I believe, because I still don't believe.
How old are you, man?
80.
What's your name?
Marie.
Huh?
Marie.
Okay, my name is, I don't want to say my name more, but my name is Ahanu. Ahanu means friend to everyone in Algonquin.
Okay, now my mother, that's why I still say, I don't mind, I do say I'm black a little older, but my mother was born.
Welcome back, family. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Now this right here gonna be history reloaded. The age of information, the remix, the hidden and untaught history of the culture that they don't want us to know about. So family, we picking out where we left off at from the last video in part 1 about Hernando de Soto, the so-called Spanish conquistador. It's like right now they got history all twisted and flipped around to keep us in the deep state. Now we go back to the Hernando de Soto story. A lot of books were written about the so-called quote-unquote Europeans to first land here to America. But are these authors and illustrators being honest about de Soto's appearance and identity? The world is a stage. The art of war is deception. We living on so many lies. Life is based on so many lies. We must go backwards to understand now and the future. Was De Soto really a light-skinned or white man as depicted in the photos? We must ask questions. Well, according to the real historical records, he was a dark-skinned Spaniard, a Santiago Knight. But of course, they're not going to tell you this, because then you're going to figure all this shit out. You're going to figure it all out. It just all makes sense. Put everything together. Remember the black nobility? All skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Everything you have been taught has been a lie. Fast forward to today, you done heard stories of Christopher Columbus being a black man. Light-skinned man, whatever you want to call it. That's why I put the picture in the last video of Hernando de Soto with a Moor. So yes, family, he had the Moors with him on his expedition. They all gang. They went on a trip together on the same mission. And you can go look this up, family. I'm not just pulling this out the butthole. All of this is documented in the book from Yale. And in this particular book, it titles The Spanish Borderlands, A Chronicle of Old Florida and the Southwest by Herbert Eugene Bolton. So this already been documented. This is the books they don't give us. And that's when you got to ask yourself, family, why don't they teach us this version? You feel me? We want to know both sides of the story. All sides, every side. Not just the European version. So I'm going to read this scripture from this Yale University Press book. Chapter 3, page 46.
I'm going to read from the top. It says, Hernando de Soto was about 36 years of age when he was appointed Adelanto of Florida. He was a gentleman of all four descents,
and had recently been created by the Emperor a Knight of the Order of Santiago. Keep that in mind, family. Now I'm about to read a scripture where they describe his appearance. I'm going to read a little, I'm going to find this in the middle part. It reads, his nature was to be read plainly in his swarthy, strongly lined face and burning black eyes. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to let that sit up, though. You feel me? It's a swarthy in his strongly lined face and burning black eyes. It says, he was renowned for courage, and his skill as a horseman was noted among the lovers of horses and the Spanish nobles. Pay attention to the word nobles. He was able to set up a fine establishment and to lend money to the Emperor Charles V, from whom he would seek his office. So just pay attention to the wordplay, family. So who was Hernando de Soto? Who was this swarthy Spaniard that set up an establishment and that was lending money to the Emperor Charles V? So who was this nigga? Who was this swarthy Spaniard? So now let's go look up the word swarthy. Now let's read a few of these examples, family. First, we got dark hue, blackish. And at the bottom, you got dark in color or shade, dark colored, darkish. And based on the historical documents, De Soto was described as a dark-skinned Spaniard. So these are your Spanish nobles of Portuguese lineage who knew how to operate a farm, a cattle ranch, so to speak. Same thing. So we must learn the true story of the dark-skinned Spaniards. Are you still with me, family? So the Santiago Knights and the King of Portugal, all this tie back in to the Jews, the Pleiadians, the Reptilians, etc. And you see, before Columbus even touched down over here, before he even arrived, we had visitors before him. Prior to him, we had people to come visit us on the land. But this is the history they don't teach us. This is the hidden history, the hidden knowledge, forbidden knowledge. So with the help of the Moors, De Soto continued his expedition. And yeah, he fought for it. He fought down hard for it. So eventually, De Soto was able to get the Native Americans to join him on the expedition. With the help of the Moors, though. And not only was this man ruthless, he was known to be a homosexual, rapist, and pedophile. But we know this. This is what these people do. This is what they do. And a lot of y'all didn't know this information. But there is nothing new under the sun, only what's been forgotten. So we got to understand that this planet belongs to us, all while at the same time we having visitors here. So it's always been a war going. It's always been a fight. De Soto hopped on the water with 9 different ships, which landed him in West Florida, Tampa Bay. And the whole reason this motherfucker even over here is because he on a treasure hunt. So they looking for the world's treasure. They looking for gold, you feel me? And they also looking for humans. They eating, they cannibals. When he got to the first set of tribes, they ain't had no gold to offer him. All they could offer him was the agriculture, the food. But he wasn't studying that shit. He looking for the gold. He want the treasure, so he moved on. But like what was said before, he went to war with these people. So not only did he just leave, he went from village to village, killing, slaughtering these people, raping them, burning them, cutting their body parts up, and turning them into slaves for not cooperating. So now, DeSoto make his way up to Middle Georgia, 478, Macon, Georgia, Warner Robins, Centerville, in that area. When they got there, they noted that the people from that region were more advanced culturally than any other Indians that they encountered. And they were 1 foot taller than the Spaniards. They called them giants. These were your Oconee, Seminole, and Creek nations. It was documented that some of these Indians were 7 feet tall. These were back in the G, back in the day. And it's a big reason why they don't teach us this. It's the reason why they don't tell us that these people were 7 feet tall. Because the Anunnaki gods and goddesses were said to be that tall. And for protection, the conquistadors, they took the 7 and 8 foot chiefs as hostage and called them guests. They took them as hostage. And of course, these big ass giants managed to fight them off, but DeSoto played a dirty game. He kidnapped one of the chief Indians' daughters, basically forcing them into submission. You playing with my damn child now. So after a little winter break, he kept it pushing, moving with over 600 men and 200 horses through southern Florida, southern Georgia, and western Alabama. But still on his village to village bullshit though. He's still on the fuck shit. And as DeSoto makes his way into the inner parts of the mount, he ran into a area with more structure. Basically, he ran into the wrong hood. Now you run into somebody who ready for the bullshit. And this is when he meet the son of the giant chief, Tuscaloosa. So basically his son pushing up on DeSoto like what's up, who y'all supposed to be? Like he push up aggressive. His 18-year-old son, 18. So DeSoto they looking at him and amazed. Because he tall, he big, large for his age. So he basically looking over them like little shrimp dumps, little boys. And when they seen Tuscaloosa, he was even more bigger than the son. They said that he was one of the most handsomest, tall, strong Indians they ever seen. So now we got DeSoto and his crew and his gang, they hanging around the village. Whole time, Tuscaloosa, he ignoring these folks. He ain't, he on his high horse, big dog. He ain't really sting y'all. Basically ignoring them, watching the entertainment and listening to the Native American chants and songs. Until DeSoto was like, the hell with it. So he grabbed Tuscaloosa by the hand and they go talk. They go chop it up. And he persuaded the chief to join him on the quest to Mobile. So eventually he was able to manipulate Tuscaloosa into joining him on the quest. So either it was some spell work or just great master manipulation. Fast forward, they getting ready to take off. They trying to go get right and go hit the land. But the chief so big that he can't fit on the horse. Like when he get on top of the horse, his feet still hits the ground. So the crew made it to another village in which they carried on the same process as the previous ones. So here at this new location, they seen there was buildings that was large enough to house over 1,000 people. And then they go into savage mode and start taking and going to war with these people. During this fight, Tuscaloosa's son gets killed. So after Tuscaloosa was aware of that, he rebelled against DeSoto and tried to escape. Unfortunately for DeSoto, Tuscaloosa and his crew, or the rest of the crew he had left, they managed to escape through the woods. Now that was just a little recap of some historical events. But family, we must pay attention to the clues and details, and you'll see that the black hand has always played a hand in the role of society today. So when you just revisit history, keep in mind that a lot of these people were black people. They just been whitewashed. But a lot of these people were black people. But they can't tell you that because then, like I said before, you going to figure out the whole code to this deep state they got us in. This spell work, because that's what's going on. We under a big spell. We fell low in frequency, and they trying to keep us down now. That's why we say, let them who have eyes see clearly.
Okay? So, you know, of course they're going to add these lies. But look, date, 801 to 1492. That's a lie on that date. Who defeated the Moors in Europe? At the Battle of Tours, see what I'm saying? Why did the Moors, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, the Moors were wiped out, nigga, by the same motherfuckers they helped. All of them. All right? Now, for you dumb motherfuckers who be out there calling y'all Moorish Americans, this is why when y'all ass go to court and y'all be like, I'm Moorish American, that shit don't be working. That shit don't be working, G. That shit do not be working, G.
Significant legacy that shaped the world we live in today. During the 10th and 11th centuries, Europe lacked public libraries, while Moorish Spain could proudly boast of having more than 70 libraries, including the remarkable one in Cordova that housed hundreds of thousands of books. Not only that, but it was Moors who introduced a wide range of crops to Europe, including oranges, lemons, peaches, apricots, figs, sugarcane, dates, ginger, pomegranates, as well as cotton, silk, and rice. Many of these crops remain prominent products in Spain today. Even the Moors introduced magnificent palaces. Moorish rulers lived in grand palaces, in stark contrast to the monarchs of Germany, France, and England, who resided in large structures without windows or chimneys, with only a hole in the roof for smoke to escape. The introduction of paper and Arabic numerals in Europe was also done by the Moors. It's surprising to know that the Arabic numeral system had replaced the Roman system for some time. Prior to this, the Romans counted using alphabets instead of numbers. Even the modernity of Cordoba is attributed to the Moors. During its height, Cordoba, the heart of Moorish territory in Spain, stood as the most modern city in Europe. Its streets were well paved, with raised sidewalks for pedestrians. Even at night, 10 miles of streets were illuminated by lamps. These advancements in urban infrastructure preceded the presence of paved streets in Paris or street lamps in London by several centuries. Did you know that people had given a special name to the impeccable black armies and rulers called Moors? Do you think that the Moors were the most skilled warriors, archers, and fighters on the battlefield? Well, history tells us so. Let us know your opinions on the Moorish character of the black soldiers even today. Aren't black military officials robust and mightier like the Moors? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious